that the Port Harcourt train station to Southeast is active now. You get? So we are doing that to see that let's get this done. So once we do that, we will now be able to get to another level, maybe by 2026, now have a proper collaboration with the Nigerian railway station to now invest in cargo. Because our roads are bad. And even the contractors who are heartless, let me use the word. Thank God for the Minister for FCT, who was able to bring out a lot of abandoned projects that the money has been swallowed by pythons or by something or another.
By rats.
Most of these roads, we never knew that these roads have been awarded. Few. So once we can be able to solve these issues, these are the strategies we have put in place to see that even within the 2025, we'll be able to explore Itakpe to Ojewu in Delta State. We covered Kogi, Edo, and Delta. Now, I've used these train stations. I need to be frank with you. I'm not just saying things that I don't.
Okay.
These are vigilance. Now, we can be able to also have used Yaba to Ibadan.
Okay.
Now, they want to take Ibadan to Ilori. So, even I have all this farm settlement there, with every presence of security, with all the structures in place. The bank, I think what will happen to Bank of Agriculture with this initiative, it will make the bank to be recapitalized because the bank is underfunded. So we are doing this to see that this will work. And we have already had the support of the green light from the committees on, Senate Committee on Agriculture, House Committee on, House of Rep, Committee on Agriculture. I think with that, we are good to go. So for every Nigerian, and the good news is that come this 2025, every household can farm. If you don't have the capacity to farm 1 acre, which is about 5 plots, you people have capacity to farm 1 hectare. So by our policy that we are not going to give you more than 5 hectares of land, because we know people who want to take advantage of such because they have the money. So we are saying that household now, for you to save the stomach infrastructure problem of your household, get a farm. So for now, for North Central, the one for North Central, we are opening up the one in Kokona local government. All activities are on ground already, and we are focusing on just rice and cassava for 20.
I like the fact that you're already taking us into 2026 already.
2026 is expansion. The truth is this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Get you.
For example, I want to move a trailer load of rice. That will cost me to Port Harcourt. That will cost me 1.6 million. And I move those trailer load by train in Itakpe through the cargo rail points and get to Agbaru, for example, then load them in truck straight to Port Harcourt because the east-west road is perfectly okay. I have reduced cost 0.1. The cost of the product is lower. So, but the good part of it is that we have almost 12 stations I'm talking about now from Itakpe to Ojewu. The madness of food price hiking will stop. Because everybody will not be agitated to farm. Yeah. And what are we talking about? We're talking about rice and cassava.
Wow. Funny enough, I said it before we started this conversation, that when it comes to food, the intensity at which we need to, emphasize, talk about it is really, really large. So what are your expectations for 2025? My
expectation for 2025 is Nigerians should believe in what we are doing. We fed Nigerians in 2024 at a very high deficit rate. I need to be frank with you. And I want to thank our investors who are going through pains, but they understood what the problem is. Because I tell people who come to partner with me is, if your mindset is just the ROIs we are paying you or what you want to gain, please keep your money. I saw banks, I didn't go to them because the banks have their own procedure. Today, I can beat my chest unless that bank is not willing or doesn't have foresight. There's no amount that we want to borrow from any commercial bank now that our structure and plans will put in place, unless they have just been wicked. But the truth is that when commercial banks fail to understand and do the needful, foreign international banks will bring them in. All I'm crying to the central bank governor is this their exchange issue of dollar. Let them see for agriculture, let them identify just few Nigerians. And I am saying I am one of those Nigerians. I need to speak myself. I market myself. Give me that thing that I want for thorough implementation. When you see somebody that is sincere, the truth is that when we see those who are sincere, we turn them, we don't even want to identify with them. When you see those who are not sincere, we fall into their hands. Despite all the challenges we went through in 2020, we fed Nigerians. I mean, I saw hunger. People are hungry. You will see somebody, they don't even care the good things you have done. They are, what they're after is now. Give me that food now. And the truth is, if we continue, what is killing Nigerians? Housing is not affordable.
Yeah.
School fees is not affordable.
Nothing is affordable.
Means of our transportation. So let's get one side.
Sector is not
let's get one side. See, maybe I don't know. Have you seen children crying to their parents for this?
Of course, that they are hungry.
See, bread. I buy bread I buy 4 bread in a week. If my son tells me bread and tea, I have no story to tell him.
Because these children don't even want to.
And sometimes, do you know that even the rate at which children are eating now is even more increasing than what we used to? No, I'm not joking, no, it's the truth. You see children after 2 hours, they say, I'm hungry. But you ask yourself, are you not the one that just finish noodles and finish all this? But they must eat because we invited them.
Yeah.
Not like my fellow men, sometimes when they complain about their wife, I will say, young man, you are the one that invited the woman. You told her that you love her, you want her to be the mother of your children.
I'll provide for you and all of that.
So, if she's pushed to the wall, yes, we know the Bible said they are helpmen, but the truth is, it's our responsibility. And even the Bible made it clear that the man that cannot feed his family is not can feed them.
Yes.
So, but the truth is, there was a time I was ministering about the emotional pains that fathers go through in one of the Father's Days. Some fathers are going through pain because of their inability to feed their children in 2024. Some are going through pain because they feel that they have failed their family. Which we cannot blame them 100% because last year was terrible. Inflation was a lot of issues. And everybody wants to make it at all cost. My line of business is simple. I prefer to have 1 million customers, make little profit, but it's consistent. That's how you generate wealth. Even when you are investing in stock and bonds, it doesn't grow once.
At all.
It's something you put and it grows over time. This can be achieved. My pain is this. Despite what we are going through, we are still producing foods that are unhealthy to Nigerians. So the worst part is even they manage to buy that food at a very high cost, they still spend more money in buying malaria and typhoid drugs. Effective malaria and typhoid drugs is close to 7,000.
Of course.
The one for children is almost 18,000. If you want to treat and have a perfect result for your kids, you must spend almost 18,000 naira. Now, if you look at this, what we're consuming, food is meant to build the certain nutrition in our body,
And not,
nutrient in our body.
And not cause issues.
So we will eat things that are not properly done and a lot of issues. So I'm not going to dive on those health issues we did on food safety last year. We're still going to repeat it another. And I'm still saying to all government agencies, I am ready to lead the fight of food safety for everybody.
Thank you so much. So we're out of time, but before we go, just one last question. How can the government and private sector come together to address this issue in the year 2025? Since you said 2026 is a year of expansion.
Yes, for 2025, what we can only do is for the government to look inward. Visionaries. You know, the basis of establishment of Quebec Foods is not basically on, with business we agree, it's not basically on profit making 100%. You can say, why do we create business? It's to provide solutions. Housing TV today is providing a lot of issues, providing a lot of solutions. They identify problems. Of course, you should know, if not for Housing TV and Housing Group and all that, the fraudulent system in people buying land would have been addressed. So a problem, when you see, the government should look for people who are dying need of solving problems and work with them. That's just my thought, because the truth is that my view is different from the other person's view. Of course. In as well, I cannot go and tell Mr. A, why are you selling rice at 95? It's his own view. Of course, me and him knows that his cost of production is not even up to 85,000. Yeah. They might not like me, and they have been doing. See, my dear, I don't want them to like me, because we are all called for a purpose. What you are doing here today, you are called for it. So if the passion and the ingenuity is not there, you can't grow. Of course. And let me tell you, when it comes to even issue of integrity and reputation, people base issue of integrity and reputation of money. I don't. It's not part of me.
That's not it.
I can go anywhere, join anything, get money, give hands to people. Everybody will celebrate me on social media and all that. That's all. But there's always a day that thing that I did will be exposed. So you that is also stealing, there's also a day. If not, you can today you say EFCC have picked this one, even though we know that certain informations on the financial crimes and all that are not properly investigated before they made them public and all that. It's only the court that can actually determine who is actually guilty or not. But the truth is that no matter what we do, let the government identify with people who have passion. We are in a serious problem, man. And if we cannot have people that are passionate to say, let's regulate the agri sector, especially food. I'm yet to wait, because I noticed last year the president set up a board that is supposed to look into the affairs of price
regulations,
but nothing has happened. A board was also set up partly from NISA on agribusiness related to. No, the problem is we should stop this copy and paste from other nations.
And then at the end
even
of
if we
the
copy,
day, yes,
we should paste them very well and let it be implementable. We don't just set up agencies and other, and they are not doing their job. So the truth is, let the government identify with people who are ready. See, money is nothing. Money is nothing. If people can, just as some will say, I don't have money, but when it's at the point of death, they will tell the doctor, doctor, don't worry, any amount I will pay. But money could not save. We are killing people, using hunger to kill people, making money with fat bank accounts. I don't want to talk.
Thank you so much.
You know how many rice mills that are owned by politicians?
Of course.
So even if government wants to start, they should start with those politicians who have served this government, served this country for so long. Start with them and invite them, please come. What do? We know it's not. Look at what Ekiti State government is doing. Ekiti State government set up an aggregating company to make sure that they buy the farm produce for farmers and keep. Through that process, they will arrest price hiking. The governor of Ekiti State is doing very well. I would lie to you. Let's say other state continues like that. It will be fine.
Thank you so much.
The words of our former Minister for Agriculture, who is the president of African Development Bank, he said, there is no moral justification for us to cry of hunger in this country, Memuna.
We've really run out of time.
Yes, he said, because one, he said, the labor is cheap. We have the water. We have the land. What else don't we have in Nigeria? A lot of international funds have been put into this country. That's not me to decide. And that's why I'm diving out of it. My own is just whatever programs the president has, he should still look at those who have initiative that are the realistic aspect of getting it done. They should look at them. When they now look at them, they now give it a test run. If you run it for the first 12 months, if it gives you the solution you want, then you can improve on funding.
Yes. Thank you so much. We've really run out of time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Founder and President, Quebec Food Processing Industrial Parks Limited, in person of Onakpoma Martins. Always a pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you.
And a passionate person when it comes
And
to
2025, make we go farm.
You've heard it.
If we don't farm, even if it's 1 acre, you can do 5 plots. Just try something, because the way this thing is going, we just need help.
Thank you so much for your review and also your expectations for the year 2025. Talking about food crisis projection for Nigeria in 2025, we've come to the end of today's program, Good Morning Africa. You've heard it all from Martins. Make we go farm. We all need to, embrace farming. It's very, very important. Even I remembered the last time you were in the studio before now, we spoke about it. And then also we even said people should, turn their backyards to gardens. Plant these foodstuffs. I know that there are still foodstuffs that you don't need to buy in the market.
All I can assure Nigerians is, we already have 25 states penciled down with FCT. We can make this work, and government will buy into it. The government is just looking for these people you are talking about. Because anytime I say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President will be like, with all this money I'm putting on ground, what do these people do? They want my blood. That's the truth. Recently, he visited the Enugu state government, and he was telling the governors that the truth is that governors, you are in charge of lands in your states, and have pushed in a lot of revenues. come up with your agricultural plan. Let's see how the federal government can support. So it's a collective work, and I also want to say that this 25 states, we are going to work with governors. We are going to work with the programs, with the collaboration system we are in place with Bank of Agriculture. We are going to be working with local government chairmen.
All right, we'll call it a wrap on the Good Morning Africa show. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch this episode, the subsequent episode, by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms, Housing TV Africa. Do not forget to download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Thank you so much for watching. I am Yumuna Bagudu. Have a great day.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Join us on a captivating experience through the dynamic world of town planning in Nigeria as we delve into the visionary projects and insights of top experts, witnessing the remarkable transformation of spaces into extraordinary communities. Immerse yourself in engaging discussions with leading town planning professionals as they address critical issues and offer innovative solutions to empower communities. Experience the pulse of the cities of tomorrow on City Pulse, a weekly television program presented by the National Institute of Town Planners. Gain exclusive behind-the-scenes looks and discover groundbreaking strategies shaping the urban landscape. Don't miss a beat. Showing weekly on Housing TV Africa. Star Times Channel 149.
When the city is getting too loud, you need a home. Home is love, peace, and tranquility. Home is Housing TV Africa. Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
If you want to get credible and authentic news on real estate and housing development in Africa, or you need that educative platform on how you can own a home through mortgage, look no further. We've got you covered. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on Housing TV Africa, where we bring you latest news on real estate, affordable housing, mortgage, and building technologies and materials. Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube. Subscribe now and get best of educative information on housing across Africa. Powered by the largest housing event in Africa, AIHS.
Trending housing news.
credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the Africa International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Nigeria is the world's biggest producer of cassava, or yuca. The root is a staple food here, made into fufu and gari. In some regions, it makes up as much as half of the calories eaten.
So it's at home with every part of Africa.
Cassava became so popular because it resists drought and pests. The root is calorie-rich, high in vitamin C, and can replace more expensive starches like wheat or rice. Experts say areas that grow cassava are less likely to endure famine. Today, cassava is finding growing markets in Europe, North America, and Asia, touted as a versatile gluten-free superfood. It can be turned into valuable exports like ethanol for biofuel, sweetener, and starches like tapioca for bubble tea. But most of the cassava Nigeria grows never leaves the country. So it could be missing out on billions in global trade. Challenges plague its entire supply chain, from farm to factory. For one, cassava needs to be processed in less than 48 hours, or it rots. But most processing plants are hundreds of miles from farms. As of 2015, the country had lost $600 million worth of cassava to spoilage. Entrepreneur Yemisi Iranloye says she's found a way to fix that. She launched a processing company called Sultry International and has since landed customers like Nestle and Unilever.
But now that we are turning into industrial use, there's high demand for the crop, so farmers can get good value for their crops.
So can Nigeria fix its supply chain enough to feed itself and cash in on a global export market? Cassava is a shrub with edible roots that's native to South America. The raw root can be poisonous. It actually has cyanide in it. But more than 4,000 years ago, indigenous people in the Amazon River Basin discovered that grating, straining, and cooking cassava made it safe to eat. Portuguese colonizers first introduced cassava to Africa in the 16th century. Then, in the 1850s, when formerly enslaved Africans returned to Nigeria, they brought cassava cooking methods with them from Brazil. Europeans pushed the cultivation of cassava in Africa because it was hardy and could help prevent famine. During this time, new ways to cook the root sprung up across the continent. In Nigeria, they ground up and dried the cassava pulps into flakes, called gari. Because it's fermented, gari helped harvested cassava last longer. Over the centuries, the roots replaced native yams as the main food source across the continent.
Almost every family have cassava at their backyard to make gari or to make fufu, whether rich or poor.
Today, Nigeria produces more than 60 million tons a year. But experts say cassava farmers aren't growing it efficiently, so they take home just $1 a day.
You're farming on really small plots, so you're not getting the benefit of economies of scale.
Large-scale farmers usually grow more delicate crops, like corn, rice, or wheat, because they can be more profitable than cassava.
And they get a little bit more of a premium spot in the allocation of land.
The ones growing cassava often do it because they have no other choice. Cassava can handle acidic, poor-quality soil. It needs less fertilizer and water, and it's generally cheaper to grow. But because of uneven soil, machinery and tractors can't reach many cassava fields. And since they're harvesting by hand and growing seed varieties that don't produce as many roots, Nigerian cassava farmers have some of the worst yields in the world, meaning they harvest less of it per acre. But Yemisi believed she could change that. She spent years saving up money to open her own cassava processing business in 2005, Sultry International.
We started with 17 farmers. The youngest of them was about 55. Some of them have died now, blessed memory.
She grouped farmers so they could buy and cultivate more land together, like this nearly 500-acre farm.
Farmers have moved from 1 acre to about average of about 20 acres today.
She brought in Foluke Adeleke as a head of agriculture to introduce new, stronger cassava varieties onto her partner farms.
This ayaya is a new variety and it is known for its good starch content and it has a better yield. The roots are big, so you can see it's very big.
Yemisi has also been able to introduce tractors on some plots, speeding up harvest by 150%. Because these farms are harvesting more cassava, Yemisi can pay more. She cut out any middlemen and directly pays farmers nearly 4 times more than the open market. Now, farmers know how much they'll make off their crop before they even plant.
We've been able to move farmers from less than $1 a day in the last 10 years to about $10 a day today.
All of her efforts have gotten a lot of attention. Over the last 18 years, she's partnered with 10,000 farmers.
Out of which about 6,000 are men, about 4,000 are women.
After pulling up a load of massive roots, workers throw them onto trucks bound for Sultry's processing plant. 90% of the country's cassava is eaten locally, mostly as gari and fufu. Aderoju Adijat has been a gari producer since 1995. Every day, her factory processes 2 to 3 truckloads of cassava. Workers peel and wash the incoming roots. Then they grind, drain, press, and fry the cassava to make the gari's signature flakes. The peeled cassava has to be soaked for 3 days to make the staple side dish fufu. It's pounded, sieved, and drained before forming a paste. Fufu sells for 5 cents a piece. Yemisi, however, envisioned processing cassava into much more valuable products, like starch and sweetener. But she faced another big challenge: getting these roots to factories. Since cassava is almost 75% water, it's perishable and can spoil within just 48 hours of harvesting.
So it basically needs to be processed in some way almost immediately.
But most factories are near cities, down long roads in poor condition.
I saw farmers were traveling 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, and before they get there, the crops are bad or trucks are broken down.
Until recently, 40% of cassava grown was lost to spoilage, and processing plants weren't working at capacity. So Yemisi tried something different.
So I I decided to relocate the factory to a place that was near the farmers, even though far away from the customers.
Because once it's processed, cassava won't spoil as quickly. Today, Sultry handles 100 million kilos of cassava a year at factories like this one.
This is the